Martin Weiss, one of the big stories of the summer, the offseason for the NBA, the biggest really, was Damian Lillard going to the Milwaukee Bucks in that trade. And Lillard, of course, made his debut last night.
Boy, did he.
Against the Philadelphia 76ers and scored 39 points, including the Bucks' last 11 to seal the victory. And they needed every one of those points. They won 119-117 over the Sixers. Simple question, Martin. What did you think of the debut? And really project a little bit. How do you see this playing out going forward? Because they are a championship or bust team. As I like to say, a La Bob team.
Yeah,
Larry O'Brien
Chris,
or bust.
You had something with S. Bob. You went a little too far with the La Bob, all right? I mean, you
know it's hot.
Look,
you know it's hot.
You had something, and then you just – look, I mean, there's a reason why mozzarella sticks come in a pack of 6, bro, because if you eat too many, they're not good anymore. You should have just left it the way it was. But in terms of this, when you consider the way that last season ended for Milwaukee, all right, not just losing in the first round to Miami, but the way that they lost. You got guys running away from the ball like they playing church league. You know, it's like the rise to the moment was non-existent. All right, the history making moment was completely and totally absent. If I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan, member of the front office, or player on that team, I look at what happened last night and I say, oh, we got one of them ones. We got one of them ones now. Like beforehand, we had Giannis, don't get me wrong. He's an all-time great. But when you're talking about guys who are coming down, and don't get me wrong, Giannis had some of the most amazing finals performances we have seen after he came back from the hyperextended knee, right? DeAndre Ayton still ain't right after Giannis blocked his shot, coming from the free throw line, taking 2 steps and sending it back down to the floor, all right? But when you think of Giannis's ultimate skill set, he runs into the same problem that a lot of other big men have, and that's not necessarily an excellent ball handler that can always work to get his own shot, and that always will come down. When it comes down to the clutch moments, that is what really drives the action, right? You got that guy, and he's either shooting or creating. Well, last night, the last 11 points of the game, 17 for 17 from the free throw line. Damian Lillard is fearless on a basketball court. So
I agree with everything you said. I mean, and one of the reasons that Miami under Jimmy Butler has been a thorn in the side of the Bucks, even though the Bucks beat them the one year they won the championship, but they've been beaten by them a few times in the playoffs, is because Jimmy Butler is one of those ones. He's a straight-up dog, and the Bucks really didn't have that. And Giannis is a dog. I really think Giannis is a dog, but Giannis isn't, he lacks the skills to be a closer. He can't shoot the J very consistently.
You know what I'll say, Chris?
So
I don't even want to say he lacks the skills. He lacks the finesse. You know what I'm saying? Some of the finesse that it requires.
Skills, finesse,
I get
you want to
but
call it. You know what I'm saying?
You.
Like, the fact that he just can't shoot the jumper, and a lot of big men, it's tough to have them as your closer because somebody has to get them in the ball. I'm talking about going back when big men just posted up on the block.
Sure.
But, because Giannis does have skills. I don't know if that's where you're pushing back, because he can dribble. He can get to the rim. He's got some moves. He can pass. So he's got some skills, but he lacks one of the key ones when you're talking about putting it in the bucket, and that's shooting. Just pulling up on the jumper and hitting it consistently. But now they have a dog in Damian Lillard, and he is a skilled dog. And I'm going to tell you this, Martin. Damian Lillard is going to absolutely love his time in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
He is going to, just like Kevin Garnett, look back and say, you know what? My only regret is I wish I had gone to Boston sooner. And like Lillard, he didn't want to leave Minnesota. And I respect that. I respect the loyalty. I respect you wanting to deliver that championship to a team that drafted you and, you had been there for years. But Damian Lillard is about to experience things he has never experienced. That he honestly, while you could know they existed, until you experience them, you really don't know how good they are. Big, huge regular season games. Playoff games where you are expected to win the championship. He's going to get a level of love if he delivers like he did last night. He's going to get a level of love that he has yet to see. He will get Steph Curry. Now, he won't be viewed as a top 10 player like Steph Curry, but he will get that kind of love that Steph Curry gets if they can win a championship. He doesn't know what the heck is waiting for him if he can go ahead and deliver. His legacy already great, gonna be a Hall of Famer, top 75 player already. His legacy will take a huge jump if he continues to be the great closer and finisher and Giannis and the rest of them do their job. I'm telling you, he's about to, he doesn't know what's in store for him if he delivers. And that's an if. It's not going to be easy. But what will be easier for him, Martin, is that he doesn't have to do it all. And he alluded to that last night. I mean, you've got Giannis that teams have to pay attention to say the least. Sure. Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez spreading the floor on one end and protecting the paint on the other. Bobby Portis spreading the floor. The lane is going to be so open for him. I mean, if Dame delivers, I'm telling you, he's going to be like, man, what was I missing out on? This is what I was missing out on? Oh, my. Yeah. I really feel that.
No, it reminds me, honestly, when I first got the job at FS1, and all of a sudden, I had been going to work at 4 o'clock in the morning since I graduated from college. But once I got to FS1, we had catered breakfast outside our morning meeting. I was like, hold up. This is the big leagues, all right? This ain't no little Detroit sports radio. This is the big leagues. And you know what? When you're in the big leagues, obviously like the NBA, we know this to be true, Chris. There's 5 teams that legitimately can win the championship, right?
This year you got the 2 in the East, Boston, Milwaukee.
Right.
Anybody else, if you want to call Philly, Cleveland a contender, have fun, but they're not winning it.
I mean,
Denver, Phoenix,
and Los Angeles.
If you want to throw the Lakers in there. Yeah, I mean, Golden State's on the fringe, you know what I mean? But yeah, about 5 or 6.
Yeah, so there's only 5 or 6 teams that can win a championship. Damian Lillard went from being on one of the worst teams in basketball to
never been one of those 5.
Never been one of those 5.
Even their good years in Portland, never.
And I was talking with somebody this earlier. Neither one of them have ever been so open in their careers.
Right.
As a result of this, we talk about basketball pairings, KD and Kyrie work, or, KD can play with anybody because he fits into every offense, or Anthony Davis and LeBron. It's how will that work? Will there be enough shooting? This is of the most recent basketball pairings, this is peanut butter and jelly. You know what I mean? We're not even figuring out if this don't work. Absolutely. This is pepperoni on pizza. All right? This is tried and true. Right? There should be no question.
A lot of times,
that this works.
And the key to a tandem or a big 3 working is, can each player play near the optimum level individually?
Yep.
Right? Does my game allow you to be your best version of yourself and vice versa?
Right.
Now, LeBron and Wade did not fit that criteria.
Nope.
But they were just so great individually, and not to mention Chris Bosh, that they were able to win 2 championships. But Magic and Kareem, and if you want to say James Worthy, he was obviously the 3rd guy once he got there. But their games complemented one another. Jordan and Pippen and Rodman, their games complemented one another. The great Kobe and Shaq, even though they were at odds off the court, their games complemented one another. And that's when a big 3 or a tandem is at its best. And these 2, they complement one another, because for all Giannis's greatness, and make no mistake, it's still his team, the one thing he doesn't do great, close a game, shoot the basketball, guess who does that great? Damian Lillard.
I mean, Chris, you went from the last game this team played before last night, you got guys running away from the ball and Grayson Allen doing a Euro step as time expires to try to win the game. right? That's never, ever going to happen as long as Damian Lillard is eligible to play and is on the court. I mean, you took a team that could not score or struggled in the clutch because of all the things you just outlined, and then added one of the top 5 or top 10 clutch players in NBA history.
No doubt.